I am 34, female, sitting in a hotel room right now, staring at a trash bag full of my clothes, completely numb. If you told me a month ago that my life would turn into a bizarre psychological thriller, I would have laughed. My husband, Julian, 36 male, is a high-powered regional manager for a major green energy corporation. To the world, he is the definition of alpha and corporate prestige. He wears tailored suits, manages hundreds of people, and is incredibly calculating, sharp, and commanding. He's the guy who negotiates multi-million-dollar landfill containment contracts without blinking. But behind closed doors, he had a secret that eventually bled into our bedroom and blew my world apart. About 5 months ago, our intimacy started changing. Julian became distant, stressed, and completely checked out. I thought it was just corporate burnout. Then, he started asking for extreme comfort in the bedroom. It started small. He wanted me to rock him, to hold him completely still, to talk to him like he was helpless. I love him, so I tried to be supportive. But then it escalated. 4 weeks ago, I came home early from my part-time shift. The house was dead silent. I walked into our master bedroom, and my brain genuinely couldn't process what I was seeing. My husband, this terrifyingly powerful corporate executive, was wearing an adult-sized diaper, plastic pants, and a custom-made oversized onesie. He was curled up in a makeshift playpen he had hidden in the back of our walk-in closet, sucking on a pacifier. I gasped, and the look of sheer unadulterated terror on his face will haunt me forever. He didn't just panic, he completely broke down. He wept. He begged me not to ruin his life. He explained that the pressure of being the big boss, who makes every decision for thousands of people, left him with immense psychological fatigue. His fantasy, his coping mechanism, was to regress entirely into being a baby. In the bedroom, he wanted to surrender 100% of his control. He wanted to be taken care of, wore diapers, and be treated like an infant. I tried. God knows I tried to understand. I read articles on adult regression and the DDLG-ABDL community. But every time I looked at him, the romantic and sexual attraction was just gone. I couldn't unsee the diaper. I couldn't treat the man I wanted to build a future with like a newborn. The intimacy died right there. The very vulnerabilities I shared with my best friend Elena while mourning the sudden death of my marriage became the exact blueprints she used to step into my bedroom and take my place. My absolute best friend of 10 years, Elena, was my rock. When Julian and I started drifting into a cold war, I broke down and told her everything. I didn't mean to betray Julian's privacy, but I was drowning in confusion. I told her about the regression, the diapers, the complete loss of our sex life, and how Julian was secretly exploring his sexuality and submissive desires. Elena listened. She held my hand. She told me I deserved a real man who could stand by me as an equal, not someone I had to babysit. She encouraged me to take some space and pack a bag. So, I did. I stayed at a local Airbnb for a week to clear my head. Last night, I came back to the house unannounced to talk to Julian about couples therapy. I let myself in through the garage. As I walked up the stairs, I heard voices coming from our bedroom. It was Elena's voice. She wasn't comforting him as a friend. She was actively participating in his fantasy. I pushed the door open, and there she was holding a bottle, playing the exact role I couldn't bring myself to play. Julian looked up at me, his eyes wide, but this time, the terror turned into a defensive, cold anger. Elena didn't even look ashamed. She stood up, looked me dead in the eye, and said, "You couldn't give him what he needed. You judged him. I don't. He's a brilliant man, and if this is what it takes to keep him happy, I'm happy to do it." Julian didn't defend me. He looked at Elena like she was his savior. It became instantly clear. They had been talking behind my back for weeks. Elena didn't just comfort me, she used every single piece of vulnerability I shared about my husband to map out exactly how to steal him. She knew he felt deeply ashamed, and she stepped in as the ultimate judgment-free safe haven. I left. I didn't scream, I didn't throw things. I packed a single suitcase and walked out. For the first 24 hours, I was completely broken. I lost my husband, my best friend, and my home in one swift blow. But this morning, something shifted inside me. The sadness turned into a cold, hard rage. Elena thinks she won a prize. She thinks she secured a wealthy, powerful corporate manager and successfully pulled off the ultimate alpha female move. But she forgot one major detail. Julian's entire career depends on his reputation. If the corporate board of his company, his conservative investors, or his rival executives ever found out about his hidden lifestyle, his professional authority would instantly evaporate. A man managing multi-million-dollar environmental infrastructure cannot afford to have his private bedroom regression leaked. I am not a malicious person, but I refuse to be the silent victim of a calculated betrayal. I am currently consulting with a high-profile divorce attorney. I have evidence, texts from Elena asking me details about his triggers, receipts of the custom furniture Julian bought, and security camera footage from our hallway. I am going to burn it all down. I am planning to anonymously leak the footage and the receipts directly to his corporate board and key stakeholders right after the divorce papers are served. I want him to lose his position, I want him to lose his prestige, his authority, and the massive income that fuels his lifestyle. Because Elena doesn't love Julian. She loves his money and his status. The moment his career evaporates and he is left with nothing but his psychological baggage, I want them both to suffer. I want him to realize he traded a loyal wife for a vulture. And I want her to realize she stole a sinking ship. By the time I'm done, he will have no job, no money, and no Elena. But before I hit send on those emails, I need to know if it is wrong to expose his private life, or it's the only way to completely destroy the two people who ruined mine. What does the audience think? Should I take the high road, or should I let the world see exactly who is running their company?